if you can only get 6-month visas even though you have a 2-year contract. It just doesn't really make any sense. So I wanted to touch on the subject of long-term stays rather in Vietnam, and what you can do at the moment. So what we still have is the 30-day tourist e-visa, 15-day visa exemption, 21-day visa exemption for Asian countries like Singapore, Malaysia, Korea. They get 21 days, actually up to 30. I think Philippines is 21. Thailand as well is on that list. But the thing is, what can you do, you know, if you want to stay here longer? What are your options at the moment? Well, work and marriage, that's it, as far as I can see. So a lot of the YouTubers that you probably see online, apart from myself, I'm a very small channel, early days, but I'm here. I have a work permit, which means I get a TRC, temporary resident card, which matches the length of my work permit, so that's typically 1 or 2 years. So that permits me to stay until my work permit expires and I can go in and out of the country as many times as I like on that. But the other people you see on YouTube that seem to be here for a long time, they're going to be similar to me. Like, they're going to either have a job that sponsors them, or they're going to be married. And I think quite a lot of them are actually married, which is nice. I did a very short video about marriage in Vietnam yesterday, and I think it's great. Vietnamese women are great. If you find yourself a good one, you could do a hell of a lot worse than marry a Vietnamese girl, for sure. There seems to be a bit of an uptake in marriages at the moment between foreigners and Vietnamese. A lot of foreigners do want to continue living here, and that's one of the surefire ways to do it. Get your 3-year, even a 5-year visa exemption, TRC, through marriage. But it's one of the things that's kind of annoying about Vietnam is, like, no matter how long you live here as a foreigner, you're never going to be recognized as a resident. You're never going to get like residential status, like you're not going to get your own passport, and you're not going to get any kind of like 10, 15-year visa. I know it's similar for Thailand, but Thailand has like an elite visa, which I think is either 5 or 10 years, I forget. You have to pay money, quite a bit of money for that, but there are options. I did hear that Vietnam are pondering a retirement visa, but I can't see it happening for a while because everything's so up in the air and nothing's sure at the moment. I just don't think they can administer it at the moment. The workforce and the planning capability just isn't there to do it at this present time, in my opinion. So they are your options, guys. Marriage or work. Maybe both. Probably both. But as far as retirement visas, digital nomad visas, no. They're a long way off in Vietnam, in my opinion. I'm hoping to arrange an interview with an interesting guy over the next week or so who's had some issues with visas, and he's kind of stuck here and he's got an interesting story to tell, so I'm hoping to get him on the channel soon and we can have a chat, shed some further light on the situation. There's a lot of tourists though. I have noticed a lot of tourists in District 1. People are definitely coming back. When I flew back into Tin Son Nhat about a month ago from Bangkok, I had to wait a few hours to get through immigration because it was packed. And it was Western tourists as well, mostly, which is kind of unusual because Vietnam tends to attract more Asian countries. But yeah, I mean, that's cool. So people are definitely coming over on those 15-day, 30-day visas, visa exemptions, which is good. The much needed tourism scene getting an increased injection of cash. But resort towns rather, like Mui Ne, Da Nang, Nha Trang especially, used to attract a lot of Russian and a lot of Chinese tourists, and those markets are still closed for obvious reasons. And I'm sure those areas are hurting pretty bad. I'll be in the Chang myself in about a month, I think. So it'll be interesting to check it out and see what the situation is like there. And I will report back, of course, on my YouTube channel. So I just wanted to add an adjunct to today's video, guys, just to give you a little bit more information that it's a little bit concerning for long-term stayers in Vietnam, which has just come to light today, actually. So when you get a work permit in Vietnam, this is typically either 1 or 2 years in length. Most companies go for a 2-year work permit because it cuts down on admin, things like that. But you may get a 1 year. But anyway, when you get your work permit, you then apply for a TRC, which is your temporary resident card. So this is your visa in Vietnam that matches the length of your work permit. So I spoke with my HR today. I've just received my work permit and I'm now in the process of applying for my TRC. But my HR said to me that they've had the TRC denied, not for myself, but for other staff. And the government body that they applied to came back and said that we can only get a 6-month visa, even though we have 1 year and 2 year work permits. So this is pretty concerning. It's actually very concerning for me, and of course for other staff. I mean, other staff that we have families, they have children here in long-term education, they have long rental contracts, and you know, this is not good, right? If you can only get 6-month visas even though you have a 2-year contract, it just doesn't really make any sense. So I don't know exactly what is going on at the moment, and this is not confirmed officially, but it is something that has happened apparently for some of our staff, which is very concerning. Why is a TRC so important, and why is a 6-month or 12-month visa, business visa for example, not as good an option? Well, the TRC allows you to travel domestically without your passport. It's a form of ID in Vietnam, so you can use it like a local Vietnamese person would use their ID card. So it's very, very handy in that respect. TRC also grants you a local Vietnamese driving license, which is really important if you're going to drive here. You need that 12 to 24 month TRC to get your driving license. Also for banking, most banks here won't touch you unless you have a TRC. I spoke about this in another video, but if you have shorter length visas, they're not interested. They may block your account. They may not even sign you up. You need that TRC, temporary resident card, to get any kind of efficient banking going here in Vietnam. So I just wanted to add this to my bike vlog today, guys, just to give you the most up-to-date information. A little bit worrying. I'm concerned. I hope that the changes happening in the immigration department and in the country will turn out to be positive. I'm sure they will. I hope they will. And I hope that Vietnam remains friendly for foreign workers, because I think, in my opinion, foreign workers bring a lot to the table, and it's a good thing for a country to get expertise from overseas to help them to progress in the way that they choose. So signing off, guys, just a little bit of extra info for you. Take it easy. Catch you later.